Can you hear me? This is good. Welcome, everybody. I'm Kevin Williams from Talonbooks. And I am not your MC tonight, but I will take credit for being the publisher of Talonbooks, so small mercies. Spring 2024, but who's counting? I feel like I stopped counting in 1984. Or was it the year 2000? Or was it 2007 when we bought Talon? Or was it 2012? But anyway, 2024, I won't talk about age as a factor, but anyway. So yes, I'm very pleased that everybody came out this wonderful spring night. And I'm not going to beat around the bush a lot. I'm going to introduce our erstwhile host and MC, Samantha Nock. So she's a Cree and Métis writer originally from Treaty 8 territory in the Peace region of Northeast British Columbia. She's published in numerous poetry journals. And last fall, or was it spring? Fall. We published her book, A Family of Dreamers, which has been shortlisted for the Dorothy Livesey Prize. And where's Erin? Is she out there somewhere? Is it the Raymonds? What's the other one? Pat Lowther Memorial as well. So thank you, Samantha, for helping us with our grant applications. Curiously enough, those darn prize nominations are very important for your Canada Council web portal. So then I'm like, oh, I'm so selfish. I only care about our grant application. What about the author? Well, sometimes the prizes help the author too, particularly when they win, but who knows. Anyway, without further ado, here's Samantha Nock to be our MC for the night.
Anyone else need help with their Canada Council grant? Too bad. JK, kind of. All right, well, somehow it's spring. I learned about 3 days ago when I emailed all of the readers tonight for their bios that it was April. So I just want everybody else to know that it's April too. It's cool. Currently just having a little bit of a time crisis. But welcome everybody, welcome to the wonderful Talon Spring launch. There's such an amazing lineup of readers tonight. Are we excited? Yeah. Cool. I'm trying not to be, for my professional life, I am an educator and a facilitator, and I'm deeply trying not to facilitate right now, where I'm just like, let's go around the room, all right, let's have one stone and one rose. What are we all taking with us? What are we leaving behind? Apparently I'm leaving behind calendars. But before we get started, I just want to acknowledge that we're on the unceded ancestral lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. I always find land acknowledgements hard and weird, and I stumble through them, as we all should. And I just like to ground myself in remembering that there has been art being created here since time immemorial, and I think that is a really wonderful thing to think of. And also to just ground us in the uncomfortableness of settler colonization and why I'm even saying this and how that is impacting us globally. Yeah, all right. What does a host do? I'm gonna get, so we have amazing readers. Basically, I'm gonna read their wonderful bios and they'll read, and then I'll do this long walk up and down, constantly. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna try not to fall off the ledge. If I do, it's just a pratfall, right? Like, it's a joke. One thing I did ask every reader tonight is to tell me a mundane fact. I know people are always like, tell me your quirky fact or whatever. I want to know your boring facts, like just the most mundane thing, and I think they're amazing. Like, for example, I shared that I've seen Titanic 100 times, probably more. It is my favorite movie, all 19 hours of it. All right, let's get going. So first up, we have Eric Schmaltz and Judith Copithorne, which is truly a gift. So I'm going to read both of their bios, and they'll come up to the stage. All right, so Eric Schmaltz is an intermedia, don't have my glasses on, and that's real small. Intermedia artist, poet, scholar, editor, and newly appointed assistant professor in the Department of English at Dalhousie University. Congratulations. He is the author of Border Blur Poetics from the University of Calgary Press and Surfaces with Invisible Publishing, co-editor of I Want to Tell You Love by Bill Bissett and Milton Acorn from University of Calgary Press as well, and editor of another one, Selected Works by Judith Copithorne, which is what we'll be experiencing today. And he currently lives in Toronto. And Eric's mundane fact, which I thought was absolutely fantastic, is that he is deeply satisfied when he weighs out exactly 15 grams of coffee beans for his morning brews. That is cool. Yeah, precision. I'm a Capricorn. I love precision. And of course, born in Vancouver, Judith Copithorne is a poet and writer who has made notable contributions to concrete poetry and other intermediate contexts from the 1960s through the present. In the 1960s and 1970s, she was identified as a member of Vancouver's Downtown Poets and was involved with Vancouver's alternative art venues, including Sound Gallery, Motion Studio, and Intermedia. She was published in the first issue of, Blointment. Thank you. Just here to be the court jester. And Ganglia, and continues to publish with small and private presses. Her work has been featured in numerous gallery exhibitions and is widely influential for multiple generations of poets living and working today. There is no mundane fact about Judith. Eric sent me this and said, there is really nothing mundane about Judith. She is extraordinary. So with a very large, warm round of applause, please welcome the readers to the stage.
Good evening. Hi. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, very good, very good. We'll let Judith come on up. But I will say, just sort of preliminary remarks, it's really, really a true pleasure to be here. This is actually my first time in Vancouver, yet I've spent a long time thinking about the city and reading about the city, so I've been having fun sort of walking around Vancouver and being like, oh yeah, U Street, that's mentioned in a Bill Bissett poem. Oh, here's this. Hi, Judith. You ready? Want me to come up? Yeah, please. I have a few more things to say, and then we'll turn it over to you. All right. So, as you know, we're launching another order by the inimitable Judith Copithorne, who's here tonight. This collection brings together 50 years of her practice, which comprises various forms of boundary-pushing writing. As was mentioned, I had the real true honor and privilege of editing the collection, and I want to underscore how much of a pleasure it has been to work with Judith. We've been spending a lot of time on the phone over the last 2 years talking about how we wanted the book to look, how we wanted it to come together, and I'm really, really quite pleased with how it looks, and I hope you enjoy it. When you pick up a copy. Judith, I wanted to say publicly, too, since we're here on stage together, that I was really honored that you trusted me with the task of bringing together this collection. Your work is so important, it's so influential, and I wanted to thank you for sharing your vision with all of us. Truly, and I'm glad to have played my small part in that. I also wanted to say thank you to the team at Talon for making a home for this book. Kevin, Vicky, Katrina, Les, Aaron, Spencer, and everyone else. I couldn't imagine a better team to work with to bring this book into the world. In the background, I think if it's running, Spencer, I think Spencer's going to get the slides running. You're going to get a little taste of what's in the collection. So we have a slideshow with some of Judith's work. So you get a little taste, but there's lots, as you can tell, it's It's quite a thick book, so there's lots more than what you'll see on the slides here tonight. So I'm going to read just a couple paragraphs from the introduction, just the first few pages, so you can get kind of a taste of what the book is about. That'll provide us with a little bit of a frame for the book, and then I'm going to turn the mic over to Judith, and she's going to read a couple of poems for you this evening and bring the work into the room. Thanks for being here. This is a really, really lovely room, really lovely crowd. So the intro begins with an epigraph from Judith's poem called Affirmative Poem. Words will rush to us like a river of stars. The form will form us, and formed we will form. Another order, Selected Works, brings together a robust selection of Judith Copithorne's writing and hybrid publications drawn from over 50 years of her practice. Alongside selections of recent digital-born visual poetry representative of her ongoing aesthetic transformations, it collects her early poem drawings and hybrid texts, collections of stanzaic poetry, sequenced short fiction, personal essays, and more that have been entrusted to small presses and privately published in limited edition runs, many of which are long out of print. As an extensive collection of her publications, Another Order represents what Lorna Brown describes as Copithorne's embodied approach to text that maintains resolute physicality and immersive concentration, fully open to new influences and challenges, whether the text is written, drawn, typed, or digitally created. When reflecting on the importance of the writer's openness to media and aesthetic experimentation, Judith confesses that writing is most interesting to her. This is something that you've said, Judith, when it is surprising, unexpected, and outside the bounds. And I think being outside the bounds is an apt description of Judith's artistic practice, since it stridently resists categorization and shatters the conventions that often make genre, media, and mode recognizable to readers. Throughout her life and work, Copithorne has consistently sought to manifest another order for writing and art making that opens expressive possibilities for herself and the broader literary culture. Describing the versatility of her technical prowess in 2 words, Judith said to me that she identifies as an intermedia worker, an identity that nods to intermedia, a term often used in the 1960s and 1970s, offered by Fluxus artist Dick Higgins, to describe what might also be approximately referred to as interdisciplinary or cross-media work. For Higgins, however, the term describes practices that are between media, that draw multiple disparate mediums into a singular context. Thus, intermedia artistic practices are tantamount to alchemy, involving undertakings of transformation, movement, and combination across the arts. Judith's writing embodies these principles and dynamically moves between illustration, sketching, calligraphy, and typewriting, while bringing together poetry, visual art, comics, life writing, and more to provide evidence that her tireless fusing of technique, mode, and genre locates her among the vanguard of her time. The title intermedia worker also characterizes Judith's position within Vancouver's creative community and her commitment to the proliferation of artistic practices, while supporting the work of other women. Carol Itter has described Judith as one of the astounding young women of Vancouver's scene who insisted that their statements be heard and that they could be artists. In the heyday of the counterculture movement, Judith contributed to Vancouver's artist-run venues, the Sound Gallery and Motion Studio, where she danced as part of Helen Goodwin's Thico Group. And she was an active member of Intermedia, an artist-run space dedicated to the collaborative exploration of emergent media. She contributed to these vital hubs as an artist, writer, and dancer, and at times also helped with the maintenance of these spaces, sanding floors, filling holes, painting walls, and contributing to event and exhibition planning. Painter Greg Simpson recalls that during the 1960s and 70s, Judith, like her colleague Maxine Gadd, broke the grip of paternalistic elites and opened the door for later poets like Mona Fertig and others to continue the movement towards greater inclusion in the local scene, including being the driving force behind many small press publications and readings. Judith is a vital inspiration for writers and artists of many identities today. The publication of Another Order marks an overdue return to Copithorne's writing and art. In Judith, Women Making Visual Poetry, an anthology that celebrates Judith with its title, poet Amanda Earle remarks that when few women were being recognized for anything, and especially not for their visual poetry, Judith was paving the way for me and other women. Another order is an opportunity for readers to return and to survey the passage that Judith opened and enjoy her many contributions to a diversity of expressive forms. Returning is also a word central to her life and lexicon. Beginning in 1965, she uses it as the moniker for her small press that sporadically issues exquisitely designed chapbooks and pamphlets. This notion of returning to Judith's body of work is particularly momentous, since Returning is also the name of her small press magazine, which featured the work of other writers and artists such as Daphne Marlatt, Bill Bissett, George Bowering, B.P. Nicol, Mona Furtig, Maxine Gadd, Carol Itter, Gladys Heinmarch, and many others. In one sense, writing and art have been constants in Judith's life. They are practices to which, following the patterns of moon cycles, tides, and seasonal transitions that prominently feature in her work, she's always returned to these. However, Returning also identifies her desire to give back to the communities, to return work marked by her spirited generosity and her singular vision. And now I'm going to turn it over to Judith to return to some of these earlier poems and bring them into the room this evening.
I do clap. Do what I want. Right. Yeah. Your hands are very cold.
No, sorry.
Maybe you should go and sit down. I don't know how. Okay. Let me see. Extremely organized. Luckily, there's extremely organized people around me because I seem to be very disorganized. So we have, I'm going to read up to 5 minutes worth. I hope I don't read too much or too little. I guess you could always, there is the one thing that you can do, you can clap at a certain point. Okay, so this is the first one. It's on page 72. Cat, Jasmine curled in my lap, and there's a little drawing of her. Outside, so much snow, cinnamon incense burning, instant fatal flaws, some, no all balance out. If I hit upon you with a great rock, or a rose, it is the same thing, the rose she told him. Alex, outside, scraping walks again. What was your name before you were born? We keep trying to be human. Erotic fantasies, sitting in the graveyard at night. Alienation or isolation. The lines become clearer these days. Ginseng tea heating on my gurney gas heater, a golden seed, a jade palace, a heart, and thunderbolts. Quiet, no snowbound days, some breaths pure, and then the fear of God. Who hears when your name is called? January 17th. I didn't put the date on the one before. There you go again, hooked on love, in love with love, as they say. What's poetry or song? The breath of someone you cannot quite see. Good, evil, turning. Changes must be accommodated. Oh, the subtleties with precognition of clarity, passion, to come to a middle way. Energy of brain, on heart, of guilt, of gut, of cunt, of legs crossed tightly, bringing it together without thought or rationality. We know what you are saying and welcome, but only so long as you keep on playing. Use it is irrelevant to the flame. On an altar of gold, transmission from the whole globe. Hello. I don't have a watch.
You're good for another.
Beg pardon?
You're good for another.
I can't hear you.
Read another.
We'll do it together?
No.
Oh, I'm going to read more, but could anybody let me know when it turns 5 minutes? Okay. Now, what else?
You got them marked up here. You got them marked up here.
I don't really.
This one.
Okay. 72, 73, and page 135, 136. Okay. Is it necessary? The Holocaust consumes the signature. The eye sees. And blood poured down the color of roses in the evening light. Run all your life from violence, and someday chaos collides. The night is coming. We go down metal exploding in guts, to the smell of excrement. No wisdom can describe our eventual death. Oh, they come to us with love and found hate, fearful greed, defoliation, mass slaughter, poisoned skies, bodies charged beyond recognition, a never opened mind. Where could we ever go to hide? And I guess you can't probably see them, but there's pictures with the words. Anyway, so. I'll do it. But what time is it? How much time do I have?
You got one more minute.
What?
You got another minute.
One more?
Yeah.
Market. And this is from right around the corner where I lived on, God, I can't even remember the street I live on. Pender. No, I lived on Pender and this street, but there was another one below Pender, which you would all know. And that's where this little place was. The store around the corner has gone. Just went by yesterday, and there it was. Less fruit than before, but still there, and now today it's gone with only the cases to remind you of it. Actually, it's not much different than it was before, with just a little bit barer, some of the color gone, and the old man with the open-worked skull cap, his wife crocheted for him, and his big bony wife who smiled her gold-toothed smile at you each time you came in. Gradually, it was change in the quantity of each thing as it got older and sat on the shelf for longer each time. Washing soda is something hard to get, and they carried that, and bok choy. Washing soda was the only thing I bought there recently, as a matter of fact. Okay, how much time have I been reading for? Thank you. It's very frustrating, this machine. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to do without it at the present point, but it's a lot of work. Just.
You're perfect, Leanne.
What a treat and what a dream. Yeah. Truly amazing. Thank you so much. All right, there are some, I think, little housekeeping things I forgot to mention just off the top. So these wonderful, amazing, beautiful books you can purchase out, I was going to say out front, out there. Past the exit sign, you'll see the tables. And then I also wanted to mention where the washroom was. Again, go out that door, hang a left, hang another left, go down this long hallway. You'll see a door. That one's not the bathroom, don't walk in there, I did that. Everything's marked, don't do as I did. All right. Any other housekeeping I should? Are we good? Okay, cool. All right. Let's just scroll. All right, our next poet. Are we ready? Yeah. Cool. Got to keep the energy going. Come on. I loved that. Yay. All right. So next up, we have Tiziana La Melia, who is an artist and author born in Palermo, raised on an orchard garden. Oh my God. And who is a sessional instructor at Emily Carr University. In her writing and art practice, Tiziana gleans the I'm a writer, I should be able to read these things. Detritus out of every day and transmutes it into material textures and iterative shapes and symbols which move through layers of diasporic time. Recent collaborations and ongoing collaborations include Cledic Kink, a poetry album with musical compositions by Ellis Sam and Glint, a magazine with Natasha, Kate Dralis. Off the top, I want to say I'm so sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name, magazine, or art project. You can come and tell me I did. I will accept it. All right, and here is her mundane fact. There's two, and they're both fantastic. So number one, Tiziana said that she is good at imitating a dog's bark. Great, that's so cool. And the second one, which I deeply appreciated as a True Blood fan, don't judge me. She said the term glamoring, learned from the vampire series True Blood, really stuck to me and pops into my head regularly. Absolutely same. All right, so please give a warm round of applause. Tiziana.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm really honored to be here, and I just want to thank Talonbooks, everyone who was part of making the book. I really appreciate all the trust. I wanted to dedicate this reading to my mom and my aunt, Ziafina, and Franca, who I don't think my mom's been here since the last Talonbook launch, so. And it's just a coincidence that I didn't invite them. They just happened to come on this day. So I'm going to read a few poems. When I practiced earlier, I realized that the ones I selected were all quite site-specific. This book is a collection of writing mainly from 2018 to 2023, and most of them kind of came out of invitations to write with other people in relation to their artworks, or mainly to kind of be in dialogue with these other artists. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have gotten to write these poems. The first one I'm going to read is called Oak Walk Drone, and it's for Nishemi. It was written in 2018 as part of a walk and a few days I spent in Nishemi in southern Sicily. And the occasion was sort of to explore this area where a mobile user operational site was built inside of a park without the consent of the locals. And I kind of just found myself there kind of in this strange, it wasn't planned, but ended up being there. So I'm going to read it. So Oak Walk Drone. The scene. A satellite transmits sound reminiscent of the addictively popular mobile phone game saga. Fluttering garbage in the cork oak forest, birds collect frayed bits and the tinsel of refuse for nests. Night walk to the mobile user objective system 4. Cork oak forest or yew tree. Weird, we didn't eat cake down in the valley where the green grass grew. I get one reply, go to the yew. So I visit the cork oak forest to see the trees undo. Forced to vibe, future. In the mornings, a shepherd crosses the fallow. I blow Scirocco off the windshield, drive down the street to transport stew. Dropping out is what the custodians of the trees will do. Rose-colored sand dropping on morning dew will let us muss, cursive as the sun ribs. Late and lone, they drop out a tone. Antennas deterred tourists seeking drawers of decorated time. Another sister will monitor blood pressure and heart rates in exchange for oranges and plays Candy Crush. Simultaneously, the news catalogs the disappearances. Fruit cooks in sugar. We drink coffee facing the stacks of paper. Proof circled by Chicho's abandoned biodynamic garden. Is it hard to participate when you want to disappear? The fence is an edge of fight or flight. I drop decorative pink peppercorns in my mouth, making decisions through these inherited responses. Eat the decoration kale, counterpoints to responses to scarcity. Beans, like some people, creep. Strawberries crawl between shade and light. Life shudders, sink, shrink, slip, disappear into cold sugar, to die and return. Shh. Pressing shadows, ancient, anxious. I put on my sneakers, sneak, while you compose on all fours and remote control. Aluminum, antimony, arsenic, barium, beryllium, cadmium, chromium, cobalt, copper, gallium, gold, iron, lead, manganese, mercury, palladium, platinum, selenium, silver, zinc, hot on my stomach. Needing water, seeds and soil represented as marzipan fictions. At the foot of remote, controlled, warfare, lit, reveals small troops of mushrooms cast under moonlight, deflect the attention against the effect of gamma rays on everyone's marigolds. Locked gates are closed, step over, click, cross, tall grass, lit by phone flash. Decoration is prayer, decoration slows. The second situation, below ankle height, square pores intersect with moralizing architectures. Portals for rabbits. The first surveillance mansions insisted on horizontality. Tell me the abstraction of home in this pastoral, on fine hot soil, picnicking. I notice the skin of the oracle, hard stone fruit, temporary ovens, hillsides teething. Everyone using a GPS together. I am still lost. When I want to disappear, I go on airplane mode. The flock moves the shepherd's guttural trill, hooves split, red earth, privately. Gossip makes the worlds go round, grow tenders, wind moves around language, mapping geographies and shared wallows. Treading drags with figures inching, blazing, friction across the oak trees, charred shaft. For days the sun kissed all the bottles, plastic or glass or any hollow container. Its kiss melded rock to earth. Gullies with strands of hair stuck to dazzling suckers, clinging to packaging and fruit stickers. Snagging seeds and pollen, settle in dusty polyester rose, swimming inside a Sprite bottle. Nothing compares to the self-care moving through air. Jellyfish swimming, striped candy is created. Candy blast, color bomb is created. Color bomb detonation, striped and wrapped, blast striped, and plus color bomb wrapped, plus color bomb buttons up, release cascades, normal switch, negative switch, time warning, load candy, Sega, crush, falls level, completed level, veiled, cry, sweet, tasty, delicious, divine, frogtastic, sugar, crush, sugar, stars, sugar, crush, fish, swimming, tickets, please, all aboard, piggy bank, feeding piggy bank, full enter, dream world, return, reality icing, licorice lock is destroyed, chocolate is expanded, licorice swirl is destroyed, licorice swirl hits candy bomb is destroyed, candy bomb detonation, multi-layered icing is destroyed, slice of cake is removed, cake bomb detonation, toffee tornado appears, toffee tornado is flying, crack disappears, sugar chest is destroyed, bubblegum, pop, hit bubblegum, pop, destroyed rainbow, twist, destroyed rainbow, rapid stops, flowing rainbow, rapid collect, skull appearing, skull disappearing, skull destroyed, bomb bomb blitz, hit booster, jellyfish is activated, jellyfish is flying, jellyfish eats candy lollipop, hit a candy tree, switch, perform free move, striped brush, brushing sweet, teeth, eats candy, lucky, candy is open, bubblegum, troll malfunctions, chocolate fountains shuffle boosters, spawning party booster, party popper, piñata explosion, features conveyor belt, moves candy frog, selected candy frog, eats candy frog, full candy frog, jumps candy frog, lands is flying, UFO is activated, owl worries, owl panics, owl falls, owl flies to the moon, moonstruck is beginning elements, jelly clear ingredients, spawn ingredients, bring down stars, sugar star, flying sugar, star landing, sugar crystals, explosion sugar, crystals flying, sugar crystals landing, sugar stars celebration, stars shimmering clockwise, sugar drop, spawn candies, collect candies, conveyor belt is moving, drain, collecting reward sugar. Do I have time? Okay, I forgot to read the epigraph, which I want to read. It was by Daphne Marlett from Listen Network, Selected Writing, and I had this book for like 20 years, and I never read the last poem in the book, and then it felt really, I don't know, it resonated, so then I wanted to include the epigraph here, and it goes, it's just a line from the poem, listen. She saw her fingers grating, saw blood flying like carrot flakes, wondered why she imagined blood as part of the salad. Okay. Lace Embrace for Charlotte Weiss and Francesca Schultz. The psychic ampersand refers to the squeezing of energy, reshaped. Think of those waist trainers. You're literally laced into this thing where you, quote, train your waist into being small. Let's say you are in a chair and one chair leg is missing. Would you still sit on that chair? Trust, fall, try, go, over, shifting, over. My weight over to one side, contorting into a side in that contortion, snap out, straighten yourself out, try, balance, again, swell, lace, embrace, corsetless verse, whipped with a ribbon, relax and bat. When I was young and bows swish, foolish, I loved Siggy and Jerry, down like the lavish. You drew a large cock, ponytails on a gingham cloth, ribs exhale, and with, and like the clock, head erect, I look down. It will shape me to sud and do you to speak in season and tie down forever here. A body of ampersands, cinched waists and satin sashes, married above the crossroads, above belly and flight. But if he is a Johnny, then exaggeratingly, accommodatingly, retying the ampersand, make room for new ties. A rough without a support structure wilts. A head of iceberg lettuce left in the heat, uprooted, roughs back to ordinariness. That was named after the corset shop across the house that I live. And the artists were basically making a series of Cartesian devils in glass bottles and bats, and they took a bath together, the artists, in reference to Sigmund Polke and Gerhard Richter, who were friends, and then they weren't friends after that bath, I guess, but they were kind of reenacting this gesture. Okay, and I'm going to read two more. Trash lettuce. Hey, freaky angel, I wrote what I wanted, a photograph. I tore it and put it in a bottle. I broke it. Your eyes are chocolate chipped. When we still waited. What was it you said, the Real Housewives said, about repetition, again? 1 month ago, I cooked the trash lettuce. It was tender and hot. You wrote, romanticize repetition. We walked to the top of the hill and lit cigarettes and sticks in the dark at the rock. I wrote a love letter in red ink and left it on the windowsill and forgot it in the sun. There's so many people in this poem, but it doesn't make you composite. It says time is something romaine, not like the other lettuce that never goes bad. Lettuce, 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 lettuce. Please go bad, not repeat yourself over and over again, expecting different results. Let us rip off the slimy leaves and eat. Caesar. Every new moon, there's a package of hearts in the fridge. I didn't buy the romaine, but it's still there, and a bottle of Caesar dressing. You said, she said, it was good, but you don't cream the leaves, so its own death comes forward. A month is a long time, though, and still there are parts of the heart still good. No cream, and the world crumbles. The countryside puns, because death and reproduction, kitten, hear clearly. Cream and crumble, throw away the watch. Baby mice fall from the bottom of the engine. Teasing time is easier if you work with trees. The heart of this house is held together with twist ties. The cross-section of the heart is the best part, but every time you throw it away. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Just absolutely fantastic. Also, I'm obsessed with your jacket. Also, everybody in the crowd is dressed so nicely. Everybody really showed up today, which is great. All right. Are we ready for the next one? Are you bated breath? All right, cool. Next up, we have Leanne Dunic. And this is her wonderful bio. Leanne was a child growing up on Vancouver Island when she first started dreaming about Paul McCartney. Cool, I love it. Those dreams led her to words and music, arms reaching for instruments, random library discoveries, and opportunities to make you laugh. She transgresses genres and form to produce projects such as To Love the Coming End, The Gift, and her lyric memoir with music, 1.5 of You. Leanne is the fiction mentor at Simon Fraser University's The Writer Studio and the fiction editor at Tahoma Literary Review. I'm not wearing my glasses. Please forgive me. I'm rapidly approaching my mid-30s, and apparently my eyesight is gone. And here is Leanne's amazing fact, which I don't think is mundane, and I have so many questions, and I will find you after. Her fact is someone took my appendix without asking. Everyone give a very warm round of applause.
My time's up? Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Talon for all of their contributions to making this book happen, and to Sarah DeLay for her input in making this book what it is today. Before we get started, I have been doing a lot of traveling in the last few weeks, and so I thought I would share some of my travel experiences with you. Today I was in Bellingham, Washington, and so I have this box of Trader Joe's dark chocolate almonds that I'm going to pass around. And I also have this quickly fading snapdragon head that was on my sushi dish on Commercial Drive. So I'm going to give this to one lucky person, and I hope you will all share these chocolate almonds. So yes, my book is wet. It's not, literally, but it takes place in Singapore in 2015. And it's a book of poetic prose and photographs. So I'm just going to get into it. You ready? Cool. When I worked in Shanghai last year, the model I shared bunk beds with screamed into her pillow every night. She suggested I try it. She had been modeling for years. Now, an extra $400 is deducted from my earnings each month so that I can sleep alone. Luxury living. An air conditioning unit hangs over my single mattress. Opposite mine, another bed without sheets. I brush a dead moth from my pillowcase, smearing its shimmering essence on the cotton. Above, water rushes through pipes. An echo from the stairwell, someone clipping their nails. In Shanghai, the apartments were so cold that I slept in my winter boots and coat, with my hat and scarf draped over my face. I awoke to cockroaches scuttling along the kitchen counter. Here, I wake up with a sweaty sheen and ants in the kitchen. The view, a cotton battened sky. Visibility, 2 blocks. Below, a gouged out urban hole. A metal dragon lowers a slat, then another, in a slow game of Tetris. Migrant workers wear canary-colored hard hats and boots, towels around necks, torn fabrics for masks. I share this flat with a 15-year-old model from Poland and one from Russia who is the same age as me. A domestic helper from China sleeps behind the living room bookcase on a futon. None of us talk much. Fluorescent orange netting sections off walkways around the condo construction site, the kind found on oceanic garbage islands strangling seabirds and turtles. I grab a coffee and bun from a hip cafe and notice the absence of tip jars. Think about the burrito joint in Ballard with the handmade sign, Mark got shot. Let's help him with his medical bills. Next door, a shop sells goldfish and turtles, festering in plastic bags. I buy an ice cream sandwich from the stall at my housing estate. Lap the quickly melting vanilla edge, smooth, layer after layer. I pass 3 construction workers washing their hands in a bucket of gray water. Make eye contact with one, look away, look back. He does not smile at me. I wasn't born a worker. Small puddles form on the ground as the men clean themselves. Pigeons drink the water. Sometimes I take the bus rather than the MRT so I can map this world I've fallen into. CCTV watches from points A to B. Cameras are everywhere once you notice them. I've watched men stretch prata dough behind hot grills on Northbridge Road, wandered the crowded clothing stalls at Bugis, explored the temples on Serangoon Road. On Sundays, I stroll Little India to see the boys hold hands and wonder why men in other cultures aren't as free to share their affections with one another. Also in Little India, I watched as a man cry as he was taken away by police. Like they do every weekend, the American and Australian models are going to Kuala Lumpur to party. They didn't invite me. I wouldn't go anyways. Don't they know the effect of drugs and booze on their skin? The girls in my apartment are here to pay 18% to our agency, send money home to save for an escape. My cousin told me about Mao's campaign during the Great Leap Forward to kill the 4 pests: flies, rats, mosquitoes, sparrows. The people banged pots incessantly to prevent sparrows from resting. Soft stones dropped from the sky. What other animals fell? 55 million people, my ancestors. In this block, poisoned bread is left on the sidewalk for pigeons, for cats, for dogs, the hungry. As she kneads my foot, my masseuse asks me where I'm from. I return the question. Her, Sabah, Malaysia. Speaks English, Tagalog, and Bahasa Melayu. I'm surprised by her strength. She's 20. I'm only 4 years older, but weak and basically monolingual. Want 15 minutes body? $10 only. She guides me to a bed. Clothes on, face down. She hoists her whole self on top of me, presses her rigid fingers along my body, thrusting them. Her fingers ream me through the stiff denim of my shorts until she claps palms on my back and says, "Okay." And now I'm helpless with want. Dream of stuffing envelopes, white envelope after white envelope, nothing inside but my fist. On the way to an audition, a faint voice behind me says, "Miss?" I turn around. A man stands timidly a few feet away from me. He points to himself. "Me, Tamil, India person, no work." I know I only have $10 and that I need it for my lunch today. Surely he needs it too. I hand him a $2 bill, hoping I'll get this job and that the next time I can give him more. A rat runs across the sidewalk, then back again. He looks in my direction and runs towards me. I casually step to the side as the rat continues into the bushes. This is how I make friends. Women pull at my inner thighs to fit me into their shapewear. They talk around me. Do they think I don't understand because of my American accent? Naughty girl shaves her chibai. Once absorbed into the nude-colored body-shaping undergarment, I walk the show with other size 0 models. My shoes are too small, but I smile and sashay in this unsightly underwear like I'm fucking Cinderella, or like I need the $500. Nature is failing. She burns and burns, forgetting what it feels like to be wet. And me, weathering, a salted cup waiting for damp. Nearby forests scorch, not a sky-born drop, yet water pours from faucets. I only shower when I have to. Bathroom tiles like chiclets under a layer of eggshell paint, a line of ants embalmed. Cats wail in the alley. Should I leave a dish of water out for the animals, or will that only breed mosquitoes? Who gets to survive? Fires consume bodies. We wear white masks to filter toxic breaths. Dear pigeon, your body is a rain-filled cloud. 2 strips of night band each wing. The aurora of your neck must magnetize you to earth. Why are you so anxious? You've made maps, but the city changes. You're famished, but the bread you've eaten crumbles your bones. The agency texts us to say auditions are suspended until this haze lifts. It's too dangerous to be outdoors. That's obvious. My hair smells like smoke every time I go outside. But this doesn't help my make money fast scheme, which hasn't been going as well as I had hoped. Maybe my Asian face isn't fresh enough here. Maybe I am too old for this. Another morning, city, citizens, haze, Seattle gray sky without the rain. Is this what the end of the world looks like? I lean on the windowsill. A man sings while he pushes a wheelbarrow. A group of men wash their boots with a hose. One washes his face. No one looks up. In imagination, in reality, we are many things. All that we try to contain. I slide slick fingers between lips. Contained within salted skin, a squall. Wave upon wave. Come wind, come flame, curled fingers. Come, cloudburst, come, pulled out of me. Watermarked sheets, that oceanic feeling. An open window, a moist exhale. A pigeon preens atop a lamppost. On the sidewalk, fallen leaves glisten like cockroaches. Now my pores can breathe. I drag through wet grass, leave glistening trails. Heavy cloud spreads like a lover, a long-lost one, a new one, eager, desperate, one you fuck like the first time is the last time. It might be. Trembles above, a groan, fingers reach upward, wanting to press into the dark, and pulse parts to pull liquid from each crevice. A crack, an echoed pleasure, a quiver. Motorcyclists buzz and search for shelter. We all have buried a sense of impending change, not superstition, but frequency in the air. Electromagnetic, jackhammer, body flutters. I am agape. This paper is damp.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. All right, on the theme of time, I don't understand how we are at our last 2 readers, but I hope you're all ready. All right, so next up we have Danielle Zomparelli. Danielle, who apparently Dina will heckle. All right. Daniel is the author of Davy Street Translations and rom-com co-written with Dina Del Bucchia. His collection, Everything is Awful and You're a Terrible Person, was nominated for the Ethel Wilson Fiction Prize and won the Relit Short Fiction Award. He co-edited Queer Little Nightmares with David Lai. His latest book of poetry is Jump Scare. And David, I'm falling apart, everybody. Thank you. I'm really hungry. Daniel's mundane fact, which again I will have questions about after, is my favorite reoccurring nightmare is where I have to put on a tiny, sopping wet sweater and get trapped in it. I have questions. Everybody give a very loud, warm applause.
Okay, first of all, I want to say I feel very happy and privileged to be here. And it's not just the Lexapro and 9 Negronis that I've had. I'm just setting a timer because I'm going to try a bunch of stuff out. Because why not? We're having fun. Okay, this one is a grief poem about losing my mom and sister, but I'm going to read it, a weird section that will not be a bummer, and will just be fucking weird. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. Great. Kind of. We'll see. Okay. 10. Simply experience your anxiety for 45 minutes. There is this and that, and 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 this and that. There's this and that, and there's this and that, and then this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, 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 this and that. This and that, this and that, and 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 this and that, this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that, this and that, and 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 this and that, this and that, this and that, and this and that, and why not? We're having fun. What else would you read? Let's do Nobody. Nobody! For Emily Dickinson. I wrote this wasted at Disneyland. Classic. We can be nobody here. We can disappear. It's so very easy. Drink champagne. We can sit in the corner and no one asks us to be anything. Here it is all very easy. Emily, I have been to Disneyland. A desert city turned make-believe. What a mirage I can see. In Hollywood, you can drink champagne and easily forget a name. Emily, did you know, of course you know, you told me, that it is so easy to disappear. David, Blaine my ass into thin air. I drink champagne, and Emily, I know I should be talking to Frank. I should be talking to him, I know. But I want to be nobody, to forget my own name like a Hollywood exec. When I order a martini at Little Dom's, I ask, do you know who I am? They reply, no, and I yell, exactly. To be somebody, to be known, what a fucking sight. I'd much rather be the ghost who haunts Griffith Park in the dead of night. Okay, let's read a bunch of offensive gay things. This is from How to Get Washboard Abs Fast, and I'm just going to read the things I like. There's things in my poetry I don't like. That's fun, right? You keep saying you're from the future, but your BMW is a 95, and I can't even fucking let go of the past. The guy who designed crop tops has all of our money. Let's get him. The economy will be saved with same-sex themed wedding cakes. Don't ask, don't tell, don't miss out on this offer. And for the next 3 minutes, we'll throw in a second slap chop for free. Wait, are you a Jack Gay or a Will Gay? Wait, on the old one or the reboot? Meet me at the corner of commerce and gay culture. You get the best G there. Have you planned your gaycation yet? Dildos can't hug you at night, but they fill the void. Thank you. Years of work. Fucking hell. Innovation is the reproduction of a butthole in the shape of a flashlight. I would shine a light up for you. Can you Great Gatsby the light and flesh it over here? No, yeah, I do like that one. I have a blog. I have a gay blog. I have an activist-oriented gay blog. I have a porn activist-oriented gay art blog. I have a Tumblr account. Stupid. I am gooped and gagged and bound by the terms of this agreement. Do you like flipping the page of this book so quickly? Are you worried it's capitalism destroying your attention span? I like this one. I was in the Amazon Prime of my life. Is there one more? Yeah. Western capitalism eats everything. It's all nom nom nom. Ha. Anyway, buy my nom nom shirt. Link in bio. Oh, and I like this one. The economy has collapsed. Oh, please, the economy, we love you. Get up. Okay, how am I doing on time? Great. Terribly. This is what happens with the Negronis. Okay, what else? Oh no, Dina, are you ready? Can you come up here? I'm gonna make Dina do it. We're gonna try an experiment.
Okay, I'm just gonna hide over here.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, okay, this is great. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So this is a poem that is 2 poems, but it's one poem that's written using only the text of Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus by Mary Shelley and Dracula by Bram Stoker. And then, so the poem I'm reading is all cuts of that. And then what she's reading is the
This is like also from a really important literary text.
a porn literary text called Jump Scare, which they are the edits from myself. So this is called Frankenstein's Monster versus Dracula versus me. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Probably.
And you can hear her, right?
Should I go further? No.
She's so quiet. What are you guys fucking talking about?
Sorry, guys.
She's a gentle whisper. Cold blue water was between me.
Why do you always find yourself in an ocean, metaphorically speaking?
Do you think I want to be evil? The monster asked. A terrible desire came upon me. I was afraid that the monster would leave. Stay, I said.
The original scraps of this poem sit on your desk back home. You meant to paste them to paper, manufacture meaning.
The monster looked at me in surprise. The waves rose in growing fury, each overtopping its fellow, till in a very few minutes the lately glassy sea was roaring and devouring.
You use experimental works to remove the feeling to produce like a robot. Did it work?
He seems alive only when he talks of his hunt. The monster stared at me.
The scraps sit on your desk at home. You jumped in a car and drove through the night because she was in the hospital again.
So I asked him point blank, Why may I not go tonight? I could hear a lot of words, often repeated, queer words. I remember hearing the sudden barking of the dogs, like praying on a very tumultuous scale.
You don't pray anymore!
When the monster finished his story, I didn't know what to say.
You both watch whatever is on TV. Flip through, start a season, one more episode, one more.
A terrible desire. It seems like a profanation of the word, to write it in connection with such a monster.
You don't actually believe in monsters. Not anymore. No one person filled with evil, just circumstances that make monsters of us all.
When I saw him on his own place, he looked queer. I did not sleep well, though my bed was comfortable enough.
You Googled how long Ativan lasts in case you needed to drive to the hospital?
Not that long. The decanter of sherry was on the table half full. Let me go, you monster, he cried.
The real monster is at a cellular level, taking over a body one by one.
I had created the monster, and this was very much on my mind. He would see me only as an ugly monster. I know why you think that, the monster said.
You updated her calendar to the present date when you made it to the apartment, so it didn't feel like 10 days in hospital.
I had learned from the monster because the monster lives alone. I must also live alone.
You write this as she rests on the couch. She doesn't quite understand the experimental part of the poem. You're bad at explaining that.
Then in a second, he was gone. Is he not a monster for doing that?
You light the Christmas tree once more because you take it down. Before you take it down, light candles, start another show.
I found one last note from the monster.
You write this as she rests on the couch, deep in the desert, far, far away from the ocean.
The monster saw what I did. I knew now well enough I cannot love again. I must destroy the monster.
The scraps sit on your desk at home. You change the calendar date by a day. One more, one more, one more, one more.
Thanks, Dina.
You're welcome.
K1. Where did I go? This one's called Don't Worry, It's Not Loaded. It starts with a quote from an anonymous commenter that says, I'd kill myself, but Obama took all of our guns and turned them into gay bars. That should be the poem on its own. Here we go. I went to the firing range, and it turned out to be a gay bar. And every single gun was not a gun, but a gay bar. I immigrated to America before a civil war broke out, and before anyone could bear arms, they were bearing ass in a gay bar, and they pointed their gay bars at each other. My neighbor asked us if we were going to get a gay bar because there were like 50,000 gay bars sold in California during a pandemic, and I thought, I just don't want to own a gay bar. It's not in my home. Imagine if that gay bar went off by accident, or if someone had broke in and used the gay bar against us. I heard gay bars were not being sold at Walmart anymore. In Canada, there are more rules around gay bars, but people definitely still own gay bars. What if you bought a gun and it turned into a gay bar? You pulled on the trigger and it just made you wait in line. What if you bought a gun and it turned into a gay bar and a drag queen made you take a shot and shook your head between her breasts? What if you bought a gun and it turned into a gay bar and it exploded with confetti? What if you bought a gun and it turned into a gay bar and we got totally loaded and danced until last call? Oh, thank you.
Amazing. I love it. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm here because of citalopram and Red Bull, so I get it. The generic version, because my coverage doesn't, Anyway. Exactly. All right. Last and not least, we're all ready and very excited for Dina Del Bucchia, who is the author of 5 collections of poetry: Coping with Emotions and Otters, Blind Items, Rom-Com, written with Daniel Zomparelli, It's a Big Deal, and a new book. You're going to love this. She is the artistic director of the Real Vancouver Writer Series, hosts the podcast Can't Lit with Jen Sukfang Lee, and is on the editorial board of the small literary press, Fine Press. Her chapbook, Douche Process, is available online. I'm not going to read the URL, but it's long. Or I can.
Just Google Douche Process.
All right. Dina's mundane fact attacked me and may also attack many people in the audience.
I'm not sorry.
No, you shouldn't be sorry. Dina's mundane fact is that she's lived in Vancouver for 26 years and never owned a pair of Blundstones or gone to a single yoga class. Give Dina a warm round of applause.
This is what we call body by ice cream, so get used to it, okay? I'm not flexible at all. I'm really strong, though. I can, if one of you falls, I can lift you. I can fireman carry 2 of you. So right out of here, no problems. She'll do it. I'll do it even if you're not injured. I'll just grab you. I'll be like, look at your cute little body. I'll just throw it on my shoulders. Welcome. Thank you to Talonbooks for having us all here and for publishing so many of my books. This is my 4th book with Talon. They haven't clued in yet that I'm not good at stuff. No, they're the best. And also, to read alongside a bunch of writers is always exciting to me. I don't know, I'm just like a little country bumpkin from a small rural town of less than 2,000 people. So, yeah, I don't know. Anytime I think about the idea of being here and doing stuff like this, it's very cool. I grew up around a lot of jocks, rednecks, people who own dirt bikes. If you owned a dirt bike, I'm not holding that against you. That's very cool, and I would like to ride it. So this is my book. There's a TV on it. There's a lot of stuff about TV. Who likes TV? Also, unrelated, who has seasonal allergies? Yeah, seasonal allergies. We all love it. We can't wait to go to bed. So this is a long poem. It's also, honestly, the first book that I've ever written that was in any way overtly personal, so I hate it. It's so stressful. I also really want to thank my editor, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who may be live streaming this, I don't know, but just really made this book into something extremely special, so thanks. Who likes HDTV? Just kidding, not me, I think it's garbage. Okay, here we go. HDTV infuriates me. There's footnotes here. But I would watch a show just about bidets and Japanese toilets. People buying homes is the least relatable kind of content. Maybe this is why it's popular. Or maybe I'm wrong, and people watch it because they own property with buildings on that property, dwellings. Even sheds? I'm not sure how something so tedious became entertainment. It's like procedurals. I'm too much and they all bore me and enrage me in equal measure. Make something interesting happen. Do not show me another identical second bedroom. Please, I am begging you. There are people with actual ideas who could make television shows for you instead, but I understand. These are cheap in production and quality. Corporations clearly can't afford anything worthwhile. So yeah, there's a lot about me talking about TV in here, including shows that maybe you've watched, probably that you haven't, most of you. Okay, but who here has watched Gossip Girl? Yeah, the good people in the room. Okay. I started watching Gossip Girl late. Well, not really late, but 7 months after it premiered. Everyone I wanted to be friends with in the MFA, Megan and Claire and Kelly and Sharita, were talking about it. So I got into it, couldn't look away. Even though I was nothing like her, I was mimicking Blair Waldorf. I already owned colored tights. I worked across from American Apparel. Wore mostly dresses and skirts. I walked around hoping I could pout with power every week, a new event, parties, launches, album releases, teens opening a speakeasy. Of course. Pretend I could not resist. The teens looked old enough, but not too old. I was in my 20s too. I could give myself to caring about who was from what side of town, the instant commutes from Brooklyn to Manhattan that recappers criticized, but I still have never been to the East Coast. So what do I know about private schools and Brooklyn and subways, town cars, galas? I did know about more popular, powerful boys and how they would put pressure on parts of you that you wanted to ignore, that being from outside the city was gauche, that sometimes people would turn on you for wearing the wrong thing. Teen logic made a lot of sense. My new friends were magic. They were a different fantasy. Smart, interesting, hilarious, bold. When I started hosting A&TM nights, we were making our own event, something smaller, but that we carried. Through 2 apartments, I kept up these Wednesday night engagements. I'm gonna call out some people in the room. Well, only 2. Megan and Claire and Lindsay and Kelly and Stacy and Laura and Roxanne, actually 3, and Sharita. Whoever wanted to forget their lives and join in Tyra's fantasy. Our laughter pierced through paper-thin apartment walls from 8 p.m. until we ran out of bang for buck wine. At the height of feeling my feelings, becoming the person I was going to be, it was really TV recaps that pushed me in the direction I needed to go, held me as I navigated the last years of my 20s. I ignored the hard parts of life, dove deep into Vulture every morning. An early riser, New York City recappers were always there for me ahead of my tea and cookies. I had to watch TV just to keep up with the recaps, to find meaning in the meaning behind the meaning. It was the most important writing of our time. As I finished my MFA, I realized I would never write anything as significant with the readership as a 2008 Gossip Girl recap on a Tuesday morning. I know I'd probably never deserve that level of recognition anyway. Accepting a low-level readership was crucial to my development as a creative person who couldn't stop comparing apples and oranges. A poet isn't a TV writer, isn't a journalist, isn't a recapper. But a poet can take any of these forms and manipulate it for their own gains. These gains are small and unrelated to muscle acquisition, like barely even the so-called writerly muscle memory. Say what they want to, while also saying something about the form itself. Sure, there are still those heart-sunk days of wishing people cared about your work, but you just text those wishes to your many friends. If you don't have many friends, I'm sorry. Also, I am not accepting new friends at this time. I am trying to maintain good relationships with the ones I have, and I worry about that enough. I'm really glad you bought this book or that you're reading it, but I really can't have any new friends.
Your friends are your complaint department. So this is a long poem. It's been really hard to read from parts of it because it's weird to read from this. Okay. TV asks so little of me. It's hard not to love that, admire the restraint, to just let me enjoy myself or turn it off at my whim. I water the plants from hot water bottles, guilt from using so many resources. But your body needs relief, and who am I to say you don't need to use 10 liters a day? I drown the spider plant and all their babies. Vow to keep the others safe. Use an app to gauge their water needs. You bought all these when we moved in, a low-impact activity that now is beyond your daily capacity. I devote myself to 18 pots of dirt, stems, and leaves. Like the greenhouse in weeds, I heard there is a reality show about competitive pruning. I vow never to watch it. These calm reality shows do nothing for me. I do not want to calm down. I want to feel something burst through all my internal organs, sear my guts. I can't be happy for people who quit their day jobs to pursue their creative dreams. Not if they own a house, not if they own a car, not if they have a husband paying benefits to cover their rotten tooth emergencies and bad skin. What's at stake? If the only discomfort someone experiences is related to their art creation and all the time they have to do it, then I have to hate them. Being a mean bitch is hard work. I only have confidence about impractical activities and a little bit left over for manual labor. I will dig a ditch, but I never want to have proficient knife skills. So yeah, this book is about my relationship to television, my relationship with myself and my mental health, and also my relationship with my spouse, who has a lot of chronic health and chronic pain issues. He's a good boy, but he's a real introvert, so you should feel sorry for him that he has to live with me. It's really hard. I'm very annoying. But I do take care of him, and I think he appreciates that, even though I make him, I'm like, hey, I just made up this dance. And he's like, no. So this is the last thing I'm going to read. Thank you so much for being here. There's a lot of SSRI talk, so I figured I would read this. Also, this relates to partially why I got this tattoo of ducks. If you want to talk to me about ducks, I'm a real beak freak. Please meet me in the lobby. I would love to talk more about ducks with people. I love ducks. So I finally take SSRIs. I go back to the mob. Classic. Invested in how hard it was going to be on Tony to whack pussy. Crying over ducks. Crying over ducks. I tweet my feelings about The Sopranos in a long thread and text Megan every time I get excited about a plot shift I didn't see coming. My reaction to Carmela's hair, Adriana's style choices, I search animal print catsuits online. I tell Daniel we need matching tracksuits to tour our books whenever we finish them. And you know what? We didn't do it. Huge mistake. Maybe for LA we can get our tracksuits. Weeks later at dawn, I get up and walk the lagoon. The ducklings, so big. I remember the panic, how recently I couldn't handle the way I had to be sad about their growth while I stayed the same, haunted by the inability to change. But I had changed. I'd grown older. I walked around an artificial lagoon in search of ducks because it brought calm to my heart. I asked my terrible doctor for help, even though the way he spoke to me always made me wish I could just send him an eloquent email instead. I made a start. I finished The Sopranos, and they definitely didn't get shot up in that diner. Shit just went on and on and on. Thank you.
But I am okay. It's just harder and harder to get the knees up. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks to our wonderful poets. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you to the paper hound selling books out there. Thank you to Les Smith, our wonderful designer. Thank you to Darren, our production manager, who's manning the bar. Thank you to my wonderful spouse, Vicky, who is my co-partner in Talonbooks and works incredibly hard at it long after her retirement. And yes, it's true. And thank you, Katrina, Ryan, Fitzpatrick, our editors. The bar is open. The books are being sold. Go have a good time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.